And a very good evening, everybody, and welcome to Reality After Show. Big Brother 24 is over, but Brent and I are just getting started talking about this honestly amazing season in my book, maybe so-so finale. But I'm Alex Rubino, your host for the evening, joined by the one, the only, the one lucky gay himself for the final time, Mr. Brent Wolgamott. Brent, what's going on?
Dude, freaking amazing. I'm sort of stunned by the events that happened. I mean, do you consider how many things that had to go right for this result, which almost all of us wanted? I know there are some haters out there. Fine. I'm going to spoil things for you. If you're a hater of Taylor, you probably don't want to be a part of this podcast, but so many things had to go right. First of all, she was supposed to be evicted during the first week. Do we forget that? And she only survived, not because of the good graces of the house guest, because out of nowhere, Paloma, who had her grips in everybody in the house, although she was kind of spiraling, let's be honest, she decided to just up and quit, or was expelled, or was pulled from the game, depending on who you believe. Anyway, fast forward to the end, and the only way she's going to make it is for one person out of two to win head of household. I mean, Monty didn't realize this at the time, but his best hope for winning the game was in losing part 3 of the final HOH, because then Turner would have brought Monty to the end and Monty would have won in probably what would have been a clean sweep. But instead, Monty brings Taylor to the end and loses in almost a clean sweep, except that she didn't get Turner's vote, which obviously many of us had predicted. So, like, wow. And then that speech, oh my God. Like, okay, for real, like we've all done this, okay? We've all dreamed about being in the final 2 of our favorite reality show, whatever that reality show is. We've all dreamed of being there, and I have dreamed of being there, and I have dreamed of giving a speech like this. But even I, as good as I am, it's at public speaking, and I competed in it a lot of years, and I think I'm pretty good at it. And obviously I podcast at it, so some people must like the way I talk, but no, not me. It's about Taylor. She was amazing. When she had that line about "I'm not a shield, I am a sword," because people always talk about shields in Big Brother. She sort of worked that into the allure of Big Brother and like made it work. And wow, and that's everything that I wanted in that speech. I just could not be more proud of her, because going into that, I was like, girl, because I wasn't sure how the jurors were feeling. Michael and Brittany were a little iffy. I figured she had Indy, Jasmine, and Joseph's vote, but I wasn't sure about anything else. And I was positive Kyle and Terrence were voting for Monty. Obviously, that turned out to be wrong. And I was just like, girl, you need to let all your guards down, because she can be a very guarded person at times, and I did not want her to be in this instance. I wanted her to let them see how awesome and amazing and warm and funny and confident she is. And she just gave all of that in that speech, and she didn't stumble one fucking time. Again, I said this on Twitter. I felt like her history as a beauty pageant contestant really helped her here, Alex, because she was so good in the format of Big Brother, which doesn't necessarily reward big thinking. It rewards quick, concise, succinct answers to get to the heart of the question. You have to have a little bit of a twist on something in order to get it across to your audience in a short amount of time. Taylor was just amazing at it. Contrast that with Monty, who kept going back. I don't know about y'all in the chat, but he kept going back to something about pre-jury and Daniel and Nicole. And I don't know what he was talking about. And I watched the goddamn live feed. So, God. Oh, this was so satisfying to watch, Alex. It was really good.
Oh my goodness. I am thrilled as well, but I gotta be honest, I was maybe more of a Monty fan than a lot of people were this season. At the end, I even said, listen, Taylor has played a very good game. It's impressive as she got here. As a fan, I love her. But in terms of who I thought was like the most deserving, I thought that was Monty for a long time. And I actually kind of wanted him to win. But this finale gave me everything I wanted. Resiliency is the theme of the episode. It's the theme of the season. And Taylor won me over in this evening, not only as a fan, because I was always going to be happy if she won the game, but making me feel like she earned it. And not to say Monty didn't deserve it. He's a very, very good player. Would have been a great winner as well, in my opinion. But boy, did Taylor have one of the best finales I've seen. Performance from start to finish. the way she answered those questions reminded me of Marianne from Survivor 42, just knocking it out of the park and making it not even a question. And she even got Terrence's vote. Are you kidding me? The biggest shock of the night was that she got Terrence's vote.
I mean, like, I think her getting Terrence's vote just shows the amount of peer pressure that can exist in the Big Brother house and in the Big Brother jury when there's a runaway winner. There's already 5 to 6 votes already on a house guest, and everybody else just wants to be a part of the cool crowd. And they realize the way that this is going. They realize the way that the jury is turning. If you really want to know what I was thinking, I wasn't sure the way Turner voted. I thought he might have voted for Taylor. I think Turner realized what was happening because he realized everybody else is voting for Taylor. Literally, the entire jury is voting for Taylor. And I think Turner was like, wow, I didn't expect that. Okay. So, and I think he was thinking it like that's what he was thinking about in his head the whole time was, do I want to join the crowd and make this unanimous, or do I want to vote for who I really want to win the game in Monty, even though I know it's going to be a losing effort? And obviously we saw what happened. He gave his vote to Monty. I will tell you that the minute that Julie started backwards in the votes, I knew then that Taylor was the winner, because otherwise there's no point in her starting at this. Julie rigs the votes the way she wants them to be, depending on who gets more votes as the losing finalist. So if you like, what I'm trying to tell you is that if, like, in what was it? Oh, in a big, like, BB19, Julie started at the end because she knows that Cody's going to be the deciding vote. And she knows what a moment that's going to be, right? And she knows the last 3 votes are for Josh. So she starts at the end so that she can get the votes for Josh, for Paul first. And then obviously Josh wins the game at the end. I don't know why I bring up BB19 all the time, because it was just one of my favorite finales ever. Like, I think if this finale topped it, I think, but that finale was pretty fucking good. So, but this season was better than BB19. This was just, wow. Great finale. So many great things to happen. And just Monty, wow. I just wonder what moment during that finale Monty realized he fucked up. I want to know that. Like, did he ever realize that he fucked up? And if he did, what did he realize? Like, because he was so happy to have won part 3, and it just got him absolutely nothing. Like, it got him nothing.
It absolutely got him nothing. And I'm with you. This finale was one for the ages. One thing on your point, Julie doesn't decide anything. She doesn't know what the hell's going on.
Okay, the producers, whatever. The producers know.
Yeah, I just don't like to give her any credit she doesn't deserve.
No, it's not
I
Julie.
think the minute, at least for me, like, if I was Monty, the minute I think I would have known that I was losing is when juror after juror is going up to vote, and what they're saying. Jasmine voting for the person who's carrying on something I wish I did. You know that's Taylor. Fine. Okay, one down.
Alyssa
Joseph,
taking back our power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph saying he's going to vote for the sword. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, the sword. I'd be like, all right, I'm down 2. Or Indy voting for one over here. Okay, I'm down 1. I'm probably down 1. Maybe. Jasmine, I'm sure about. Joseph, I'm sure about. Kyle with the representing the season. Probably not good. Michael, strong, maybe is a maybe. Alyssa taking back our power. Brittany looking everywhere for that missing week 10 vote. So yeah, I think.
What was that about? What missing week 10 vote? Oh, that's when
the week she went home.
Oh, she tried to get Taylor out of the house. That's what she's talking about.
Yes,
yeah, she knew. Yes, okay, she knew Taylor was part of her beat at the end.
I like that. But yeah, no, I think in that moment I would have known I'm cooked. And I also think I think as he went on, as with the way the jury was asking questions and with the way her answers were getting them to react, they all really liked her answers. And he even know, like, oh, okay, that's good. And I'm rambling on in circles. So I'd be like, my confidence would have gone from here to here to, oh, it's at the floor. Then the votes get revealed. It's like, well, I'm done. The minute I don't get Terrence's vote and he hated Taylor's guts, I'd be like,
oh, well, yeah, I think he knew it before then. Like, I think he knew.
I'm just saying that's the final nail in the coffin.
Bitch, let's be real. I don't think that Monty's a smart guy. I don't think he needed to wait for the jurors to reveal their votes.
Oh, no.
I don't think he needed for the jurors to even put their keys in the box. I think he knew once he heard Taylor giving those speeches, like, Turner was never going to give a speech like that. Come on. And I always thought that Monty had this so wrong, because, like, Turner and Monty, both their strengths were so similar. I always felt like Monty had the social game and the jury management that Turner did not. And it would have been an easy, like, anything that Turner said, Monty would have been able to say, yeah, but I did that just as good or better. but Taylor had a quantity that was so different than Monty, and it was something he could not combat against, and that's where he made his mistake.
What I think he went for, in that was that, yeah, okay, Turner played a similar game. And he may or may not be more likable, but from what he knows, he doesn't know that Turner did a horrible job owning up to his game. And he knows what Turner's saying to him. But I'm not going to believe a word he says. Oh, yeah, I deserve to beat you 9-0. You just said it. Yeah, I lied. You lied. And I think he could have, like, Turner could have almost flipped that on him a little bit of how those were his moves. He had the bigger HOHs and all that stuff and really started owning it there. And if you're looking at who's more likable, it's obviously Turner. So I think that's what he was banking on. Clearly read the room wrong, obviously, and was maybe hoping to capitalize on the bitterness that he hoped some people like a Terrence had for Taylor. He just misread it wrong. He thought, almost like Taylor said, that things would go the way they've always gone. The player who played the more dominant game, the more out there game, the one who won the more comps, who avoided the block more. And that's a big reason why I thought Monty was such a deserving winner, was avoiding the block, which is always thing I'll give him credit for.
But isn't that a little bit? Isn't that I hear you. Go ahead, finish that. I know what you're saying. He was the worthy winner.
That's what would be my logic in thinking I'm playing with a jury who very, very much respects the game and values the game.
But let's stop right there, though. Isn't it the chicken and the egg, though, baby? Because I feel like the juries have rewarded that type of gameplay in the past for people that have won competitions, that people have stayed off the block, and thus they're just going to reward that. So it's like the chicken and the egg. So which came first? I feel like it's the juries who are not convincing us that that's the type of winner we should be hoping for. And Taylor tonight convinced us, no. There's actually a different way to play Big Brother because black women stay the blueprint. That's what Amon said on Twitter. Like, black women know how to get it done a different way. She was like, you know what? I didn't win the most competitions, but this is what I did. I made relationships with other house guests. I made sure that people knew that they needed me in their game in order to further the game. I bonded with people. I empathized with them. Once they got to know me, they understood who I am. Something that Monty just could not. How is he going to explain away that? It's just not there. And I felt like when she said in the speech that I found a way to win that was outside of comps, that was outside the usual minutia that we all hear in the goddamn finales of all these goddamn reality shows that none of us really give a shit about, because at the end of the day, we want to vote for the person that we like the best. And she found a way to get it done. I was so happy.
Yeah, but I will say I don't blame Monty for thinking things would go how they've gone for a majority of the past.
That's fair.
I give him that.
Yeah.
And in his head, he played a better game. He thought, okay, Taylor's the more unlikable person. She was on the block more. She was more vulnerable. I played the stronger game. It's clear. And I'm not going to kill him, even though the vote was 8-1. It was a bad move. We're all aware of that. But he didn't have all the information. And if he had all the information, I think he maybe makes a different decision. Oh, well, Taylor's a phenomenal winner. Maybe not in terms of gameplay. Get into that.
Dude.
It's very rocky, but I'm so glad she won. She turned me. I was always a fan, but I didn't love her. I think the way that, like, the bigger community did. I think everyone was always too goo gaga over her. But tonight, she gave me everything I needed to feel good about her as a winner, to feel good about her as a character, and to really feel like, you know what? This season got what it deserved in a winner, and she took it and ran with it. And I'm so thrilled. This is one of the better jury speeches I think we've ever heard, especially in this format where you have about 5 seconds to talk.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was probably with you in that in a little bit, and I think in the beginning of the game, I was definitely as goo gaga for Taylor as everybody. After Taylor's HOH, I started to get off the train a little bit, and I was like, girl. And when Brittany brought up that in the round table, I was like, I was kind of bitter with Brittany bringing it up, but I was also kind of like, okay, yeah, but. Okay, her HOH was a bit of a mess. Let's be real. That happens with power the first time you get it. But whatever. I felt like besides that week, it was really, really good from Taylor. And she did a great job of making sure that people knew that she was on their side. Even the people that felt like they were in some ways betrayed by Taylor felt warm about her in the jury because they knew that she had protected them for as long as that she could, until she couldn't do it any longer. So, I think somebody said this in the chat, like, this is a winner like that we used to have in Big Brother back in the day. People that actually bonded with jurors, that got to know them, that didn't rely on comps. Dr. Will famously never won a competition in Big Brother. And ended up winning the game. Like, it's only been in modern day Big Brother that people have been valuing comps so much. And although Taylor, as I said, I felt like Taylor needed to win one more competition in order to give herself a chance. And when she won that second HOH, I felt like if she's going to make it to the end, I feel like she can win now because she has enough. She's done enough for them to want to reward her if they want to reward her, and they did.
I completely agree with you on that last part. I think she is a winner, that we haven't seen in a while, and out of the current mold of winners, you're right in that we haven't seen it. But I do think, I give Taylor more of a knock because not everyone's first HOH is that bad. That first HOH was bad. It was not. It was
really
not good
bad.
in any way, and it definitely knocks her in my winner rankings. But what I will say, if I'm a juror in that situation, this is one of the tougher final twos I've ever had. Usually, to me, the final two is so cut and dry. It's this one played a great game, this one was dragged, or something to that effect. These two played very different games, but both played very good games. None were amazing, both very good. I would have probably gone in leaning Monty, but then he makes that move, which, I won't kill him for, but he should have known better. I do think he should have known better. But I'm not. The reason I'm saying I won't kill him is because it's not Cody evicting Victoria, for example. It's not on that level. He should have known better. And then Taylor's speech, the way she just battled through such adversity that wasn't even her fault at the beginning. And that's where I'll say, because I normally will give a player a penalty if they got themselves into a bad situation and had to get out of it. You could say, oh, it's great that they got out of it. Why'd they get in the situation? It really wasn't her fault at the beginning. So I won't give her I will give her credit for that and not blame. Being on the block 5 times, not amazing, but she got out of it every time. Good, really good on her. And the way she probably had the best turnaround of a game I've ever seen. And overall, turned it on when she needed to and took this title from Monty. And I'd be like, if I'm a juror, I'd be like,
can I ask
you
you
know
a question?
What? Yes.
You take notes on the finale. I don't take notes on the finale. Do you can you please give me the Reader's Digest of her speech and just let me relive moments of it? Do you have that? I'm hoping you have some of that. Because I remember as time is going on and we're talking about it, I'm remembering parts of it. Just tell me little moments here and there and I'll remember what she said. But go ahead.
All right. Yeah, I really have the whole thing. She won 3 comps, 2 HOHs, but she's a lot more than competition. She bled out more than Monty. She's gotten up time and time again because for so many women, we have to fight looking out for ourselves, but also others. I've been falsely accused of abusing someone's mental health, using someone's sick mother for the game, being called a bitch more here than I ever have in my entire life. Having to fight against an all-white alliance and sitting on the block next to the person who formed said alliance. Then she went into the not being a shield but a sword, not a victim but a victor. And then the one word that describes the season is resiliency, which describes her very well. And she wants the players to dictate what kind of winner they want, if they want the same old winner who won comps, or if they want to change the course of this game and pick somebody who was resilient.
Yeah, and I really like the angle that she picked for this, not just because it gave her the win, but obviously because of that, but obviously because it takes it to the jurors directly to say, you can be different. You have the power right now to do something differently than every other jury has just followed the beat of the jury in front of them. You can do something different and be remembered for something different. Our season can start something new, and that's something that you get to decide right here, right now. She put it to them to make that decision and realized that, I don't have the power, only you have the power to do it and to make it happen. I really also loved the fact that she directly brought up the things that we have all been talking about all season, the thing with Daniel and how miserable he treated her, the thing with Nicole about using her mental health, and Paloma about using her mental health, and Nicole's mom. Mother. Those two things were deliberately brought up by Daniel and other people in the house to really tear down Taylor. And then the fact that she had to sit on the block next to the person who tried to create an all-white alliance in the house and had to sit there and take it with grace. I love the fact that she brought that up in her speech. She didn't sweep it under the rug. She talked about it openly in person to continue to put the pressure. And you know what? One thing she didn't say that I'm hoping that all of the jurors did realize, but again, who knows if these people are big fans of Big Brother or not. I don't know. This is the first Black woman to win Big Brother proper ever. First Black woman to ever do that. She never talked about it once. She always talked about it from the angle of womanhood and not the fact that she was a black woman, but obviously that was there the entire time. And it's so gratifying to see you guys. This finale was so amazing for me because she was powerless to get herself to the end. And somebody reminded me earlier this week, for those of you who watch Big Brother Canada, there was a winner in Big Brother Canada 3 who also lost parts 1 and part 2. And we thought, oh girl, this is over. Like, I thought she was done. But then one of the 2 people in the final 2 wanted to take that person to the end, even though he probably shouldn't have. And then he brought it to the end, and then he lost. So, it was an amazing moment for me to see Sarah Hamlin win Big Brother Canada 3. And I was like, so earlier this week when I saw that Taylor had lost part 2 by 21 seconds or something like that, I was just like, you know what? Monty wants to take her. I believe he wants to take her. And I think given the way that the trivia questions are in Big Brother now in part 3, I think Monty beats Turner. I think his guessing luck runs out, although it looked dicey in the beginning there, let's be honest. And I think Monty's going to win and take Taylor to the end, and that's exactly what happened. It's amazing that it happened the way we all wanted it to.
Yeah, and I was literally just about to say that if you hadn't brought it up. Yes, she is the first Black female winner of Big Brother proper, and I love the way she went about all these things. One, she could have mentioned that she would have been the first Black female winner. She didn't. She did it a little more subtly, but also when she talked about the things that the microaggressions and other false accusations that she faced, she didn't come at it of, oh, poor me, I'm a victim. But she blended it in there of, here are the things that I have overcome in this game. Don't feel bad for me, but look at what the hell I did, and you should be proud of this. And this is why you want somebody to win. And I think that, plus with the way that she framed it to the jurors of, my game's about resiliency, this season is about resiliency, and just putting those 2 things together, basically saying, I should represent the season and here's why, was just fantastic, fantastic.
So what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about a couple of the amazing votes on the jury, I think Kyle and Terrence, and then we can also talk about the pre-jurors. Who do you want to talk about first?
Ooh, let's go with the pre-jurors, get them out of the way.
Okay, so I thought it was hilarious that they brought the pre-jurors back, and they're like, introducing them. They're, yes, except Paloma. Yes, she's not there. She doesn't exist. You couldn't even vote for her for America's Favorite House Guest. Like, it was like she wasn't there. So they brought the pre-jurors back, and they're sitting there, and they're right. And by the way, why are they all in the backyard? Or why are they there, not on stage with Julie? I don't understand. It's just like
social distancing.
It's literally like COVID all over again, but yet they have an audience in front of them. Yet they had like the fucking cookout comes from all across the United States. The cookout comes from all across the United States, and they're up on stage with Julie, and they're hugging Julie, and they're doing high fives with Julie. They can do it, but the freaking people who have been in a box in seclusion for the past three months, you can't trust them to not have COVID. I'm just like, I want to tear my hair out. I'm like,
actually, you know what I think it could be?
Why?
I think it could almost be, if they do it in the backyard, they have control of the audience that interacts with the players. And not from a COVID perspective, almost just maybe from like a safety perspective, in a way. And maybe it's partially Julie just not wanting to deal with it. I'm playing devil's advocate of what it could have been. And maybe, because they obviously don't have COVID, but they're maybe just worried about, like, you know what? Because they brought the families back to the backyard. So it's like, you know what? We could kind of control who interacts with the players.
Whatever. Anyways, I don't want to talk about anymore. That's fine. It's fine. Yes. That was just stupid. But like, I thought it was, they ignored the pre-jurors for like the first 3 minutes that they brought them back. And then they finally asked them a question. Didn't ask a question to Nicole. I thought that was hilarious. Did ask a question to Daniel. He tried to be funny, but wasn't. Pooch was self-deprecating, and I thought that was great. And I mean, like, I'm not a fan of Pooch, but whatever. I thought he handled himself fine. But
let me stop you right there.
What?
When Julie's questioned him about volunteer, she called it pooching yourself. I don't think, like, really? How does it feel to be a baby vernacular? I don't know.
I guess it feels good. I mean, like, if you're pooching yourself, I mean, that's good. If you become a verb, like, come on. Yeah.
I don't know if, like, it's just, whatever. That's a bit of a stretch.
The house guests were saying. Anyways,
I know they were, but it still feels like
we're moving on. Alex, you interrupted me, and I was building up to something. Oh my god! So
that's what you do all the time, Brett. Go for it.
I was gonna talk about Amira and her stank evil face. Can we talk about Amira's evil ass and her stank ass? Bring it up, because you guys know You guys know she follows social media. She knew that Monty and Taylor were broke up. She knows that they're not together anymore, that they were just
Yeah.
banging in the Big Brother house. She knows all this. But she decides to bring it up on live television because she's an evil cunt. That is why she did that. That is exactly why she did that, Alex Rubino. She
Oh,
is
I
a
know.
stank, evil bitch who did that on national television because she wanted to hurt Taylor and she's pissed about the way things went. So she wanted to hurt Taylor right in front of Joseph. You all tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. That is what happened. That is what happened. And no, I know you missed me on RHAP, but goddamn it, I couldn't say shit like this over at RHAP. I could not have. I could not have. So I'm just telling you here, that is exactly what happened. And you guys know that I am not wrong about that. The entire chat agrees with me. They know
Oh,
that's exactly what Amira was thinking during that moment.
oh yeah. I mean, she wanted to be entertaining, and she wanted to stir up some little drama between Monty,
In her
Taylor, and
moment,
Joseph,
right
and she
before
had
she
it.
knew she's about to win. Yes. She knows
Oh, it was
she
good.
knows Taylor's about to win, and she's probably about to win
And
America's favorite player, which we're going to talk about. But
oh,
yeah, yeah,
I love that after we talk about actually no, it was before Kyle and Alyssa. We get Julie Taylor. Where do you think Stan? And she's like, it's early, but he's a friend. He's a good friend. And I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
that's where it's gonna stay.
yeah.
But like, oh, it's beautiful. Then shocker, shocker. Alyssa and Kyle had some fun in jury. That was what they said,
Yeah,
essentially.
shocker. Yeah. Oh,
Uh,
you know that Alyssa's going to be promoting the fact that she is a little closer to Kyle than maybe we thought she was going to be. Now that she knows that Kyle finished in the top 3 of America's favorite player.
Can we get
What?
there? Taylor, Michael, and Kyle. Like, of course, we need the
I'm
straight white
stunned.
guy who. No, I'm not surprised
Are
because
you not surprised?
No, I'm not.
I didn't think
Because
production would allow him to be because there's like let's be real, you guys. There's sometimes that production is just like, you know what, we're just going to announce the top 2, and there's sometimes where they don't even announce the winner. I mean, they just announce the winner. Like there's times where they've just like the top 2 were blah blah blah. Because I know the top 2 were Michael and Taylor. Let's be real, the top 2 were Michael and Taylor. That's what it was.
I don't know actually. But
Based on what I saw, it was Michael and Taylor.
Probably,
Yeah.
but I won't put anything past him. Here's what I'll say with that. I think you're thinking that production hates Kyle. In my opinion, they don't at all. They love him.
Okay.
They kind of wish maybe he didn't do what he did with the whole cookout accusation, but the way he apologized for it and the way this show has covered it up and made him look to be the golden boy. He is still golden boy in their eyes, and that nothing was going to change that. Of course, he's AFP because the casuals like the good-looking white guy who apologized for his bad behavior and grew from it and learned from it. Not surprised at all. I wish Michael had won it because I actually thought I didn't know the winner could be AFP. I guess they can.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I saw that
Taylor.
Sharon Tharp said on Twitter that she actually asked production, and production said 100%. The winner can also be America's favorite player. So, yeah.
I will throw BB14 at all of them then.
Yeah.
Dan and Ian had to have been. One of them would have been. But regardless, you know what?
Yeah,
It's Taylor.
I concur.
Fine. We're gonna change the rules now. Okay.
Yeah, they
But I
changed
still
the
would have
rules.
rather it been
They changed the
Michael.
rules. Yeah.
I would have rather it been Michael. But
I was happy it was Taylor. Whatever.
I'm
You know what?
happy it was-
Can we talk about? Since we're talking about Michael, let's talk about Michael really quickly. I think that was it Brittany during the jury. They were talking. She was talking to the jurors. Julie was, and Brittany called out Michael for being too much of a player and not enough of a person, and she was too much of a person and not enough of a player, and maybe that's why they made a good connection. I felt that when she said that. I was like, yes. That's the thing about Michael, you guys. I'm sorry. And I know he he may not give a shit about this. His boyfriend or whatever, fiance may not give a shit about this. But that's the thing. We never got to see who the real Michael was until 5 minutes before he was evicted. Like, for real. I never got to see Michael play Big Brother. It was just, nice-isms and cut and paste this and that and this move and that move. And let me win this comp. That's all he fucking did in the house. And to say, I'll never forget when Daniel was being horrible to Taylor. Michael didn't have anything to say. He didn't have anything to say. He didn't defend Taylor. He didn't try to turn down the temperature. He let Taylor take it. Okay? So don't come to me with that bullshit. He wasn't enough of a person in the game, and that's why he lost. Bye.
What I will say to that is that I agree with you by and large. And Brittany's statement was perfect, and I just honestly love how she may have been, like, the second player in the duo, and I feel like typically when we have the second player in a duo, they're the more aloof one, and yes, compared to Michael, she probably was, but she's pretty self-aware and acknowledges her
Very
fault,
self-aware. Yeah,
and I
and I know
think
so go ahead,
and I
sorry.
and I think on a second chance, I don't think she's getting a second chance, but if she did play again, I think she would learn a lot, but also she pointed out Michael's flaw very well in that, yeah, you didn't
Yeah,
really the
she did.
players I don't care about us getting to know him, fine, whatever. The players didn't really, I think, get to know him beyond the fact that, oh, he has a nice looking fiance and is in love and is all happy because
Yeah.
he hid his career. Yes, it's being a lawyer, which is threatening, but he hid that from them. And I imagine, and I
He
could be
hid
dead
too
wrong,
much. Yeah.
if he sure, maybe talking about being a lawyer is not the most interesting, especially a criminal defense lawyer, is probably not the most positive thing. But I think going through law school, that's at least 3 years of your life that you just can't talk about. He could not mention it. He didn't really open up to these people,
That's
and
fair, yeah.
I think if he
You
had
think that was
that,
a
that would
bad
have really been the
call?
clear.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a good call, or at least, like, I don't know. So I don't I get why he did it. I don't love it, but I think it just pinpoints to Michael's game more where he was strategic in some ways, and then he won comps. He's like, I'm not going to open up to people because people already like me. But I think if they had really gotten to see that other side, like another side of him,
Yeah.
that's what you get out of the really complete players, where they feel like they know them so
Mhm.
well. You never got that with Michael, and I wish we did, but oh well.
Yeah.
He had a
That's
good
true.
reveal.
I was just thinking about Derek and how he bonded with everybody, and yet he hid who he was, and I was trying to remember how he did it. Like he what I forget. What did Derek say he
Parks
did?
and
Did
Rec
he was he
coordinator. He was a
No, no,
Parks
no,
and Rec
Derek.
coordinator.
Derek from BB16. What did Derek
Yes.
from BB16 Is that
No,
what he said?
he said he was a Parks and
Parks
Rec
and Rec?
coordinator. I
Was that
100%
it?
vividly
Alright, fine.
remember it. That was the
Parks and
first
Rec.
season I
Is that
watched.
what he
I remember
said?
it like it was yesterday.
Maybe he did that. Oh, for God's sake.
No,
I
he
can't
did.
even remember.
But
Okay,
here's the
fine.
thing.
That's
You know what
fine.
it was? He made up
He
the
knew
stuff,
so much
but
about it.
he knew so much about it. And I think what Michael did is maybe in some cases the better strategy. Say you had a job that you used to have, but Michael had that job when he was in, I believe, high school or college.
Okay. Yeah,
With all due
that's right.
respect,
That's fair.
he's not
Yeah. It's
22.
not who he is now. Yeah, you're
It's
right.
nowhere near where he is now. It's 10 years ago, and it's like, oh, what's happened to me in the last like 5, 6 years? Oh, well, I'm engaged, and that's it. And that's it. And I
Yeah.
believe he has a cat, and I can't tell you anything more.
Yeah, right.
I bet
Yeah.
he's listen, I would love to get to know him. He seems like a really great guy. I could probably talk to him about Big Brother for days and days and days, and about his life. I think he'd be interesting. But the players didn't know that. But
Yeah.
alas, you and I want to get to
What?
Julie, who ate Jasmine's muffin? Like,
Don't
why?
care.
No, it's
Why?
just like, why are we doing this? And I hope Turner never buys her a single muffin. Okay, we got nothing from Daniel. We got Turner saying his stupid lines of bussing and discussing again. Blah, 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 blah. The Joseph thing might have been a little interesting. The first question she is, Joseph, is people said that you blew up leftovers game and how he then revealed, no, I was going to protect you. Kyle blew this whole thing up. And Taylor's
Yeah, that's
like,
what he needed to say. He didn't say the thing about Kyle, did he? He didn't say a thing about Kyle,
he
did he?
he didn't explicitly say that he blew it
Like
up,
he
but he
needed to
mentioned
say,
Kyle's.
like Kyle
He
was the one
mentioned
who,
Kyle.
like, I tried to. He needed to
No,
say,
he
I
mentioned
was the one who
Kyle's
was trying
name.
to. I was the one who was trying to protect the leftovers. Kyle blew it up first, went out unbeknownst to me to try to save himself and Alyssa. Then I had to play catch up and pretend like I was against the leftovers, but Taylor, I was never against you. Like that's what he needed to say. He didn't quite say that in his answer, which is why Taylor was a little like, but whatever. I'm hoping that they can clean it up now.
He's a classy guy, but I think I heard him throw Kyle's name in there subtly, and I'm like, if you picked up on it, you may have been like, oh, okay. What I did, like, I guess we're just bouncing around at this point. Michael,
Yeah, we're bouncing around.
when he went to vote, and he's like, my vote's going to strongest player of the season. He's like, I think we'll look back and say you were number one, which is a SpongeBob reference. I don't know, is there a reason he made
What
that
is
reference?
that?
Did he
I
ever
don't
talk
know.
to
Can
anybody
somebody
about
help me with
SpongeBob?
that? I
That's
have
a
no
SpongeBob
idea.
reference.
That was so dumb. That was literally
Yeah, I
dumb.
don't
I didn't
know.
get it. Like,
It's
no,
yeah.
when you have these little in
That's all I
jokes
can.
with other house guests, like people don't get it on the finale. Like it never
Yeah,
works.
I
I
may
don't
have
know
missed
why
that. I don't
Michael
know if
went
you ever
there,
talked to
especially
Taylor.
without an audience to sort of laugh with him. No,
There
that
was
did
an
not work
audience
at
there.
all. Well, they were outside. Like, they weren't right in front of them.
Yeah, but I
Like,
think you can hear them.
he couldn't hear the audience laughing. It didn't create an air of, "Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
funny." You know what I mean? It was
Yeah,
just
no, it
dead
didn't
air.
work,
It was dead
but
air. It didn't
yeah,
work.
it didn't work. I kinda liked it because it reminded me of my childhood a little bit, but, I don't know really why he did that, but
Whatever.
okay. The HOH oh, I have one question about the first part of the HOH comp, if you wanna get
Yeah.
so,
I missed it for the most part, but so go ahead, because like
you didn't miss
I came in
much.
like
It was
10. I came in like 10 minutes late, and they were already done with part one. So yeah.
yeah, I came in late and I have YouTube TV, so I recorded the episode and I kept fast like skipping through commercials. Or I actually had a break in the middle, whatever. So they have to basically stand on these hot dogs because of course. And Monty talks about his big wingspan and how he let him hug the entire wiener and like grab onto the handles
With
on
his
the other end.
hands. Yeah.
What
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering is if were they measured? And I assume probably not, but were they
No,
measured
it didn't
for
look like they
Turner
were.
and Taylor? Because that is a
No.
massive advantage, and he still
I
didn't win
do
it.
I don't know, you guys. I mean, you guys can help me, but it didn't look like, it looked like all three hot dogs were exactly the same size. Like, that's what I saw.
If they were, I call BS on this, and that they should have measured them because if he's able to grip something almost like for the camera like
Right.
this, and the others are like this
Yeah.
on something that's already slippery, your head is spinning. My God, I would have been like Turner. I have
But he's
motion sickness.
heavier.
Don't leave.
I think he's heavier and he has more centrifugal force working against him, whereas Turner does not.
I agree, but I'm saying for something like that, I would have much rather had that
Mm,
grip because I think the grip would be the hardest thing while I'm dizzy. If
okay.
I can hold on with not only strength, but just the fact that like I'm able to, like, I have more space. I think that was a big advantage that they didn't handle. I like the previous.
Anyway,
I always like.
let's be real. It's this favored upper body. It favored upper body to me, and that's the thing that I feel like both competitions did. And I don't know why that Big Brother can't get this right. Like, and they have. It's not like Big Brother doesn't have fans like us who work on the staff. There are people who work in the storyboarding and the editing, who work on the competitions, the challenges, who are fans of the show just like we are. Like they watch the show just like we do, so they know what works and what doesn't. I don't understand how you can look at a competition like this and not realize this favors somebody with a lot of upper body strength. I don't understand that. Like, somebody
Oh,
who, if women are going to be disadvantaged in a competition like this in part one, same with part two. You cannot tell me that Monty using that zip line did not have more momentum going across the zip line than Taylor did. Watch Taylor go across the zip line and watch Monty go across the zip line. That zip line favors somebody with muscles and with upper body strength, so who can grab it and just zoom across real fast, which is exactly what he was doing every time. Monty went across the zip line so fast I couldn't even keep track of him, whereas Taylor was on the zip line for like 3 to 4 seconds at a time because she has no weight, which means she has no momentum to get her across the zip line. I don't know who's designing these competitions, but Taylor won in spite of the people who are designing them, not because of these competitions.
Brent, here's what I'll say. It's not that they have
Okay.
like fans on the production who don't tell them these things. They don't care.
I don't care.
Either if they're
Okay.
told, they either ignore it or take, "Oh, that's nice," and we don't give a shit. We like the way they go. We like the big alpha man winning. So here's how we're going to do it again and again and again. And I
Okay.
agree with you that these competitions are designed unfairly, but if
Mm.
they're not that dumb. Either well, maybe they're that dumb, but I doubt that. I think that these people, after doing it for 24 seasons, now 22 years of this show, they are smart enough to realize who these competitions favor, and they just don't give a rat's ass. I'm sorry, they don't. But Taylor wins in spite of that. I give her all the credit. And to be honest, I I thought from like a visual standpoint, part two was cool. Like for me, I wish
Part
it
two
was
was
harder
cool.
though. I
Yeah.
wish I like the days
Yeah, I wish it
where
was
it was
harder.
really,
Yeah.
really difficult. Like you had to
Yeah, I
remember
wish could
little
like. Can
details.
you remember like Big Brother? What was it? Sorry, it was the veto at Big Brother 14 when like the stars align. That's when Danielle beat Ian. Like, that one
Was that
was
the
really
stairs?
tough. No, 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 that
No.
wasn't the stairs. No, that was when that like they had this like a constellation of all these stars, and you had to place the house
Yes.
guests in certain parts of the board. But and some of the house guests related to one of the facts, but not to both of
Oh, I
them.
love that, like the
And you
net. It
had
was like the
yeah, so it wasn't quite as
oh.
straightforward, and you really had to use your mind to pull it together. Something like that is what's missing in the Big Brother competitions, because it just takes a good mind in order to win something like that.
Yeah, I really want a competition that really, really rewards studying and paying attention. I don't need comp names, Like,
Yeah, comp
whatever.
names. Come on.
Or
Yeah.
Maybe, like, even
Like who
maybe who
thought that
fell in what order.
Big Brother Pie Party? Somebody thought like they thought that somebody was gonna fall for that when everything this season has been ending in fest. Like, is that real?
Yeah, some of them were not good. I mean, also, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I wanted more details,
it
like
was
who
dumb.
got this many votes in the season, or who got this many votes before. I don't know. They've done it in
I
the past.
liked
They've done
one.
these better in the past.
Yeah, the one about I played in the orange lane on slip and slide. That was something that a lot of people would not that a lot of people would miss. Or I was eliminated 8th in this competition. I
Yeah,
know those
that
showed up in part 3, but I feel like evolutions of those questions could end up in parts of like final 5 and final 4 veto competitions and things like that. I yeah, I feel like Big Brother could do better.
I think it's one of the, and I also will say they want to simplify everything. I feel like this show either they treat the audience as a fool, or they treat their players like a fool. One or the other. But I make these things complicated. They don't need to be questions that like the normal fan knows all the answers to. I want some questions that like me as somebody like who may have been watching every minute of the live feed. You know what? I might not remember that. That's something I want, because I want something that like these players who are in the house have to think about. What order the competitions took place in? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I know.
There's no thought of that. I would have been so pissed if I was playing, because listen, I'm not very much of a big guy. I'm playing against Monty. I have no shot. I have no shot unless he screws up. Because the only difference would be him literally getting over the zip line back and forth. And if one of us if he makes a mistake, then I have a shot. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
All
I
right.
miss some old school competitions, but I also miss the way that we did jury questioning back then. We don't get that
Yeah.
actually.
Anyway.
What I do want to get to, and do you want to do this now or after the commercial?
We
Is
can do it after
Dr.
the
Will?
commercial. Let's do it
Let's
after
go
the
to
commercial.
commercial. Let's learn about shaving our balls one last time from our friends at Manscaped. We'll talk about
Okay.
We'll talk
Let's do
about
that.
Dr. Will's return to the Big Brother jury for I believe it was the first time in 3 years, correct? Or was he there last year? But Dr. Will is back. We'll talk about how the season shapes into the Big Brother lexicon as a whole, maybe some rankings. We'll answer your questions. We'll do it all right after these words from Manscaped.
Support for Reality After Show is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package, the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. That's right, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code SURVIVOR at manscaped.com. If my math's correct, that's about 12 million balls.
The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived, and oh man, is it a game changer. Inside this package, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies.
First off, the Lawnmower 4.0, this trimmer is the future of grooming, and dare I say, the greatest ball trimmer ever.
Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof and has a 4000K LED spotlight that you need for a more precise shave.
Now, I have a dark shower curtain in my bathroom, and I've been looking for the perfect way to shave in the dark, kinda. Guess what? I found it! 4000K LED! No longer a problem. I got perfectly smooth, clean balls thanks to the Lawnmower 4.0.
It's time to take care of yourself, so go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code SURVIVOR. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code SURVIVOR. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
Thanks for sticking with us through the ad break. And don't forget, for more exclusive Reality After Show coverage, visit realitypatron.com. That's reality, Patron.com.
All right, welcome back, Brent.
Yes.
We got Dr. Will back. And Do you like having Dr. Will host these first
I
of
mean,
all?
he's fine. Like I really thought like they had the cookout in town. They had the cookout in town. I don't know why they didn't have Tiffany host the roundtable. Like I felt like that would have been a lot better. Like she actually watches the feeds. Dr. Will doesn't watch the feeds. We know he doesn't watch the feeds. Tiffany's been watching the feeds. Maybe it's because she has too much of an opinion, and they thought that she would sway the jury in Taylor's favor. I don't know.
I'll be honest.
I don't know.
Not have wanted Tiffany.
Who would you have wanted from the cookout?
I don't.
If anybody.
It's funny. I don't know if I think they're all just too like they're not far enough removed. They were just on the season. Right. They have opinion. They all and fair on them had a rooting interest and a very clear rooting interest, and I don't blame them. I would want somebody who can be a little bit more objective. Like, you know what? It's a very immediate thought, and I got to think more about it. But maybe like an Ian Terry could have been fun.
Nah, Ian was. Ian also had opinions about this season, so like.
Oh, everyone has opinions, but I think he would have been able to maybe better. Because I also think Tiffany's more of like, with all the like, Will was a character on the show, but in this moment, he's more just like wallpaper.
Anyway, so.
But yes,
Dr. Will's non-offensive to me. He's an integral part of the show since the show's beginning. He's the reason the show is what it is today in some ways. So I'm fine with Dr. Will continuing to do the jury roundtable as long as he wants to do it. But if CBS ever decides that they want to make a change at the top, I guess I'll support it.
Yeah. I do want somebody who was on a jury. So like I'm seeing Dan Giesling. I'd rather not him. I think if we could. Like Dr. Will might be the best because he did win and he was in front of a jury a while ago, but he's probably good. He's good, but I agree with you. There would be people who might be better. As they all come out, as they all try to figure out who the third juror is, Terrence guesses Turner, the others guess Brittany, and Michael's like, if they're smart, they'll evict Monty. And this is what's interesting to me. Because him saying that, and I believe Jasmine agreed, I don't remember who, one of them agreed to it. I think at that point, a lot of them were going towards Monty. I think so? I definitely think between this, like the beginning of the roundtable and the end of the jury questions, I don't know if really all of them, I don't think maybe the game was flipped, but I think there were some people, Michael maybe being one of them, maybe Brittany being another, who could have gone either way. And if maybe the speeches were reversed, maybe Monty wins this game. I don't know, but it's definitely closer in my opinion.
I also want to know how much of an impact that Monty not bringing Turner to the final two made on the jurors, because I felt like that was going to be a big impact on them.
Oh, I think
when they saw that he had an easy win in front of him, he could have beat Turner 9-0, and he chose to bring Taylor with him to the final two. Like, I want to know, like, did that impact any of their votes? Did they reevaluate their support for Monty based on the fact that he made sort of a boneheaded move there at the end to bring Taylor to the final two and listen to that speech that she gave? Like, did that impact anybody? I kind of want to know that as well.
Yeah, I'm with you in just that interest, but we don't know. So Brittany comes out, they're all sad. And I like Will's first question. This is a really solid final three, and why should Turner win? And they all laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That moment. So
you knew.
You knew. The fans.
That's what I
said.
Even
the casuals.
Well, that's what I said. If Turner wins part three, then this is going to be a really boring finale because we know Monty's winning 9-0. Like there's nothing to be seen here if Turner wins part three.
I don't know if you can see, but that third column is all of us for every juror saying Turner was their last one. Alyssa brings up his comp wins. Joseph talks about the social game and the alliance formation. And they were like, oh, we played a great game. And then Michael's like, he didn't know anything. I think the players said maybe his only shot was that if he came on, his final speech related to him really owning things. But it didn't.
Wait, what did we talk about last week? Well, that Thursday night, we with Bobby on the show, we talked about Paul and Big Brother 19. People not owning their shit. We talk, you guys. It's like we say this every week, and then like it happens right on the show, and I'm just like, what am I fucking Kreskin? Like, did I not hear this before? Like, Jesus Christ! Like, yeah. Go ahead.
There are some players where you're like, even if you watched the season, you didn't really take away what you were supposed to. Or maybe it's one of those things where you kind of think you're invincible. Like in your head, you're like, oh, I know not to do that. I know. It's like you're in school and a teacher says like, oh, make sure you like check your work before submitting or whatever, and like make sure you submit the right file. And you're like, oh, of course I'll submit the right file. That's the easiest thing to do. And then you don't, and then you have egg on your face because it's like, I did all this work for nothing. That's almost what I feel like Turner's game was, where he did a lot of good work. He really did,
Yeah,
but couldn't
he did.
finish it out and did not learn from anybody before him, especially Paul, but really a lot of players before him who haven't owned their game. The only person I think who really I can even think of in recent memory who would have won the game without owning their game extensively was Vanessa Russo. And I think even at the end, she would have probably owned it more.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
But
She seemed like she did toward the end.
I will
Yeah,
say,
I think so.
the fact that like even though she had an issue owning her game was so far and above beyond like nearly anybody else's we've seen, and that still was an issue for her. It's like, no, you gotta pay attention, and you're not her. You're not winning this game like this at all. Paul lost it twice. Tyler lost the game because of that. We can keep going.
Anyway, I like, can we not talk about these? I don't want to talk about these people. I want to live in the moment that Taylor just won Big Brother. Can we
Yes.
talk about,
But
can we live in that?
Oh, we're living in that moment. Because I want to get to the point where they start talking about Taylor.
Okay.
Because I think
Go ahead.
Joseph was the big one who really turned this thing, where he starts talking about the difference between Turner and Taylor, and he's like, Taylor was the one who makes the move, whereas Turner's the one who like benefits from them, which to each their own. Brittany goes in about how her first HOH was kind of a disaster and her moves were more flashy, and she wanted to see if things were more deliberate, which Taylor showed her at the finale. She said, you know what? I was being deliberate. And how her biggest move being on the block 5 times, I don't know about that. They give her a lot of credit about escaping the block, and the point that I liked was from Michael. What he said about Taylor's game. He said, she got me to make moves that were better for her and not me that I look back on. And then Joseph is like, yeah, I got rid of Daniel. Why? Because it would make Taylor happy and not me. And I really enjoyed that.
Yep, I really enjoyed that as well, and I loved hearing that. Like I felt like that was certainly true. I remember during that week that Joseph had thought about other ideas about maybe I don't want to get rid of it. Maybe I don't want to get rid of Daniel here because Daniel could benefit me in the win, but this will really make Taylor happy. And if I go against Taylor here, then I'm going to lose a lot. So yeah,
I think Michael really helped.
I think Joseph and Michael.
Joseph especially. I think Michael then piled onto it. And then they really go into Monty's game and they give him a lot of credit. But they also say he played a pretty safe game and they respect the risk that Taylor took. And I think that is the thing, that if Monty had maybe like made a bit more of a risk in some way, shape, or form, I think then you have him having a better shot. But he didn't really talk about how like he made risks in the game, how he was vulnerable. And in some ways you're like, great, you weren't vulnerable, but also did you really have to face any adversity? And that's where I can say, like, when we watch seasons, like when we watch Paul in 19, I even said, like, he's playing a great game, but when is he going to battle something not going his way? How is he going to deal with that? What did Monty have this season that didn't really go his way? Not much. And he did well with it. But then Taylor's game went above that.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping people would say during Big Brother 22, during All Stars, because Cody played the ultimate safe game. It was just safe the entire time. That's why that season was so boring. And then they finally called it out about Monty, like, hey, he's playing a bit of a safe game. It seems like it's bigger than it really is. So is that something that we want to reward? So, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm just so thrilled with that speech. I'm so thrilled with this moment. Her winning, not just winning the game, but also winning America's favorite player, and everyone else looking around like, well, shit, and the jurors are just gnashing their teeth. Amira is gnashing her fucking teeth. Taylor just won the game and America's favorite player, and she didn't. So, girl, I'm happy about that. Oh, by the way, are you reality after show in the chat?
I am. I've already, yes.
Okay.
I took care of the moderation just now.
Well, no, I just I blocked them totally. So like when people are like that, just block them totally. There's no reason to time them out.
Oh, I do.
Like
In this case,
it says you timed them out.
I pressed the wrong button, but
you pressed the wrong button. Yeah,
but they're going to be gone. I think you can see the comments already gone. So yeah, you're an asshole, and you're literally calling yourself an asshole. Like, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to deal with you. Goodbye. But regardless. What a fun finale, even if the format is not something I like. Yeah, and this was our first woman winning in, 3 years? No,
something like that since Casey, right?
Casey, 4 years. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Would you look at that?
Yeah.
The final third part 3 of the final HOH. I miss Scales of Justice just from like the view of it, but I do like that these questions are more fair. But I don't know. There's not
No,
much
it
to
just
say.
feels like a trivia contest. I miss the old one. I want the old one
You-
back because
You
anybody
like
can win
Scales of
that.
Justice, even if it's a bit more
It's a crapshoot. It's a
bit more
crapshoot.
crapshooty.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot.
And
Yeah.
and I get that, and I also I can also say though I don't want the third part of it to be crapshoot. However,
I
when
like
it's
that
question,
because like you had then it depends on your social game to get you to the end.
No, no.
Anything can happen.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't even consider that more a crapshoot. Like if it's something where your social game can really reward you, and it's things that like these people should know about me, and like versus like almost complete guesses, I think then that's fair. Almost like BB17, Johnny Mac's question about why I believe it was why does he like being a dentist or something, and Steve knew because he talked to him a lot. He hates being a dentist. He's just in it for the money. He knew that, and he
Yeah.
won that competition. Like it or not,
Right.
he earned it, in my opinion.
Yep, he
Not
did.
the what would be your dream like car? I don't know. We've had some really stupid questions, but I do like these. They're good. But yeah, I'd be happy to go back to Scales of Justice. They won't though.
Yeah, I think
but
this is
I-
here to stay. But I hope
Yeah.
they do address the competitions in Big Brother and the challenges and the way they're constructed.
keep
Because
dreaming. We said this for years. It's not happening.
well, I'm hoping, you know what, like I'm hoping if people like if I feel like if people get loud enough that they will eventually. Like Taryn tweeted something about this a couple days ago and how the comps tend to favor men, and looked at like you have to look at the last 24 seasons of Big Brother and then the modern day seasons of Big Brother to see what's been happening with the challenges and the competitions and why is this happening. So I feel like he has a point, and he certainly has a big enough microphone. I'm hoping maybe somebody will listen, but
with all due if they had listened to superfans, things would have been different a while ago. They don't. I have no faith in them. The only reason they even made any big change, which was making the cast 50% BIPOC, is because the whole world was on fire. The whole world was in shambles, and then they figured that out due to a lot, and honestly, more so just a CBS mandate that a lot of the Soul Survivor group, which I'll give them a ton of credit, really banded together and had to fight tooth and nail to get. That's the only time they've really changed anything for the better. They don't listen to their fans. There's no faith. I will never have faith in them listening to their fans to do anything. I'm sorry, they don't. Wow, Brent, you don't even like me ranting. I know I'm not you, but my God, production. Yeah, no, nothing's changing. If they do, I'll be thrilled. But no, and they're not listening to Taron Armstrong. I'm sorry. No, they're not. They're not. Maybe bigger than Canada would. The U.S. isn't. I don't even know. They may know who he is. They probably just hate him, honestly.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true.
The only other thing we get is Taylor, her reaction to winning. She's like, it's like winning Miss Congeniality, but with a prize. And she was going to spend money at the mall on potato chips. So it's like she's kind of like sticking that persona that some people don't like of, oh, you're a little like surface level sometimes. But
yeah,
I don't care. I enjoyed it.
I love the fact that she called out the potato chips things because she doesn't know this, but Lay's is waiting they're laying in wait for a sponsorship with Taylor. You know they are. So we're gonna get the commercial tomorrow. I'm telling you, it's coming.
Maybe give it a week, but yeah, I will love that.
Let's wrap this puppy up. We've been here an hour, baby. Let's go.
Julie ends the season saying love one another. I'm curious. Well, one, I will say if anybody has questions in the chat, throw them out.
Okay, throw them out.
We'll take them. But Brent, I will start with a question for you. In terms of modern Big Brother, I'm saying from 16 on, that's like the HD. Where does this season stack up for you? Right off the top of your head.
Oh gosh, the season. Oh gosh, it's so hard because like the first 3 weeks were so hard to watch, and then like the middle 3 weeks, Daniel had it correct. Like after Daniel left, like I mean, of course we wanted Daniel to leave. Don't get me wrong, but he was right that it was a little boring, but not because of the reasons Daniel said. It wasn't boring because Daniel left. It was boring because the production introduced this festy bestie twist into the game and basically let an alliance that most of us loved and supported control the game, and there was no danger of any of them being evicted, even if they lost HOH. So, because there was always like a parachute for person to evict from each festy bestie. So, yeah, like I really felt like that the twist happened to work out in favor of the fans favorite alliance benefiting from it, but it did get a little boring there for a few weeks. But then like once we got like to the first double eviction and on, like I felt like that things definitely picked up. And by the second double eviction with the betrayal of Michael, it was and then Brittany lying to Taylor, like that was some really good. So, in answer to your question, where does it rank? I think it's definitely in the top third. I'd have to look. I think the finale definitely vaults it up. That speech that Taylor gave, like I've always talked about how, you know, if shows can stick the landing, and this certainly did. So I mean, it would. I'd be hard pressed to find something else that really made me as satisfied. But I need to be removed from the season for a bit.
Okay, I fully acknowledge that, and I'm saying my rankings will probably change. I'm looking at my list right now, and in terms of modern seasons, this is probably second. I would have 17 at 1, and I would have this right behind it, and then 20 right there. Sorry.
Yeah, 17
overall.
Yeah, I think 17 was pretty good.
In terms of American
not all
seasons,
the block holds it back, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm with you. In terms of American seasons, I currently have 17 at 7, so I would slot this season at 8, top third, barely. It's like the end of the top third, and then 20 at 9. We jump, then we go down, and we get a lot of the more modern seasons, which are not very good, in my opinion. I think that's fair. It's not like legendary. It's not great, but it is, I would say, very, very good. We got a great winner. We had some great players. We may have had some low lows, and that's the only thing that brings it up, but we had some high highs. We had a pretty balanced season in terms of players, and we had some great gameplay, some interesting gameplay. I really like it. And then my other question would be in terms of winners and in terms of gameplay, not character, but gameplay. Where does Taylor's game rank for you roughly?
Oh God, too soon. I mean,
It is too soon.
I'm sorry.
I agree.
Like in the moment, I want to just make sure. I just want to say, oh my God, she's the best ever, and I'm so happy for her. And that she's amazing. And that's true. But also, we cannot ignore that her first HOH was an absolute fucking disaster, and she made so many mistakes during that HOH that still reverberated until the end. Like I think her relationship with Turner was never the same after she told Turner for no reason whatsoever that she might put him up on the block as a pawn. Did we forget that happened? I'm just like, oh God. Anyway, yeah. So for first time players, I'd have to think about it. I mean, she definitely played well, and she directed some of the game, and she got Monty to bring her to the end when it wasn't the right thing to do. So there's that, and the speech was phenomenal. Like that, like other people who are better players than Big Brother cannot do a speech like that and turn possible, wavering votes around. So that has to be considered as well.
Yeah, and I'm looking at my list. I realized I didn't even update it last year with Xavier. I would say right now I'm looking at it, she's in the middle towards the bottom. And I have her in the tier of like, probably she's right below June Song. I think June played a very good game, but not an amazing game. I think she's there. She's probably better than like Elisa Donahue or Casey. I don't think she was better than June. I don't know.
I never did a winners list. We did show rankings when I was over at RHAP, and we never did a winners list. As far as I can recall, you guys.
I think you might have done one, but I don't
think we did. I don't remember doing one.
Maybe we'll do one.
We did players that we think should be brought back, and I remember putting Michelle Costa at the top of that list, and people were like, "What?" And because she should have been brought back. I'm just saying.
Oh, we all know that.
Costa's fucking amazing. Anyway,
idea for an off-season podcast. Maybe we do winners. I think that could be really fun to revisit, and that would maybe take 10 hours, but I think it could be fun. Yeah, right now I'm with you. She played the adversity she faced that's not due to her own, that she overcame, showed me she has a lot of capability. She has a really good social game. Strategic game had its moments. It really had its moments.
It had its moments.
It had some really low lows, and that's where I'd knock her below a good chunk of winners, honestly, probably like the top third or two.
That's fair.
But yeah, she's probably at the top of the bottom half is where I'm at right now.
I think Pika's comment is the appropriate comment. Like Taylor isn't top tier gameplay, but she's still one of my favorite winners. And
that's fantastic.
That's how I would put it. It's just like Rachel Riley. Exactly, girl. You get me, girl. I got you.
I think I'm with you, even though I'm not as big a Rachel fan as you. Yeah. As for off-season podcasts, TBD. That's all I'll say. If the schedules work out, if the timing works out, maybe later in the season, like maybe December time, I think I would be more open to doing a podcast or two or whatever, because I love talking to you guys. We'll see. Maybe we do Big Brother. Maybe we talk about your BBL, Brent. Who knows? But Brent,
right.
Oh God. Any I don't see much. We've had some great comments on this. Actually, you know what? I actually do. There is one question that I want to get to real quick from Sheldon. Is Michael like Vanessa, a good player cut and will be forgotten as to who won? I don't think so at all. I think comparing him to Vanessa is almost larceny. With all the
Is
respect, he
Michael
is
like Vanessa, a
nowhere.
good player? No,
Yeah, she's not Vanessa. Absolutely not. We're gonna remember Taylor won this
Michael,
season.
yeah, Michael is not going to be remembered. I don't think. I mean, I know he's got the record for the most 6 veto wins, and that's the only reason he's going to be remembered. I think
That is why.
Who the fuck is Michael? What was he on the show? Aside from 6 veto wins, I cannot fucking tell you. Like, I really cannot. He was
You'll
just so
remember him.
like it seemed like he wasn't even comfortable in his own skin. Are you guys with me on that? Like, I don't know. I never got the guy.
Yeah, I like him more than you do. I think he'll be remembered, but is he an all-time great? No, and either in entertainment or strategy. But he's a good player. I like him, and I'm glad he was on the show. But
Yeah,
that's all I can
whatever.
say. I don't know if
I
I
don't
need
need
him
him back. Whatever.
Who do you? All right, that's my last question for you. Who on this cast do you want back right now?
I want Joseph back.
Joseph, okay.
Yeah, I want Jasmine back. 100%. I want Jasmine.
Really?
She was so
Okay.
great in the finale. Oh, she was great. Yeah. Anybody else? I don't think there's anybody else, right? Nope.
I have some.
I think that for me, that's it. Yeah, Joseph and Jasmine. Yeah, that's who I
Okay.
want back. And they're not exactly aligned, so like, they're okay together, but like they wouldn't go into an all-star season working together. I'll put it that way.
Okay. I do want Joseph back.
I love Jasmine.
I don't think I want Jasmine back. I love her. She was great in entertainment. I just don't think we get more of her. If she tries the same,
she continues
same
giving
shtick,
to me. I'm sorry, she's giving.
I don't know.
I love it. Yeah,
we'll see. Either she's more self-aware, and then she's not giving us what she's given us, or we're getting the same thing again. So hot take. I could deal with Turner being back. It's not something I'd ever say. I think I want to see Taylor again. I want to see Joseph. I want to see Brittany actually. I think Brittany with some more self-awareness would be really interesting. And my last one, my wild card. Give me Amira again.
Whatever, bye, girl. Unless she wants to embrace her mean girl self, I am not here for it. No.
I think it could be interesting. I don't know how she would be.
Now you're wasting my time. Okay.
That's my opinion, but I don't know. I'm trying to mix things up.
Amira. Oh my God.
And I said wild card and I said like my last pick.
Okay.
She ain't the top of the list, but I think out of the pre-jurors, she'd be who I want. So we didn't really get many. That's fine. People who disagree with me, go for it. Don't blame you. But put it this way, if she makes an all-stars cast, we're in trouble because there are players that are much more deserving. But overall, I'm really thrilled with the season. We had a great ending. Tipsy-turvy, up and down, and I don't know if I would have stayed with it as closely as I did if it wasn't for being able to podcast with you and Bobby every week. So I'm so thankful to you both. Thank you to every single person who listened. All the comments, I really just cherish it. It's been such a pleasure of mine to be able to be here and to do this the last 2 years and to do Survivor. In the meantime, I won't be doing that again for the time being, but it's just been so much fun. And Brent, I love you to death. I love Bobby as well. I can't believe I'm hosting a finale podcast. That's still blowing my mind, but it's been awesome. And Brent, any final thoughts from you?
I think I'm good. It was a fun show, fun recap, fun season. Like as I got told, I'm always honest with you guys. I'm always honest with my listeners, especially the ones that followed me over from my old network. Like I almost didn't podcast this season because I was really down in the beginning, the first few weeks, and then I missed a week, and I was like, do I really want to podcast about this show? I don't even like any of these people. Like none of these people. Like I don't like any of them. And then the leftovers formed, and then I was like, okay, all right. I can deal with this now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so thankful the way it worked out. And you know what? Survivor's going on. We've got a great team of people podcasting it. It will not be Brent.
I'm sure I'll do a Survivor recap eventually.
Yeah. If I get asked to be on one by my good friends, I will do it, but I will not be hosting a weekly podcast. That's a bit much. But if you want to see Brent and I talk about Survivor, we talked about the premiere of season 42, actually. Side note, though. It's been so much fun to do this season, to follow it. Brent, Bobby, he's awesome. Brent, you've been awesome. It's still such a pleasure of mine to be able to call you a co-host and even more so a friend. You're wonderful. This has been a ride.
Thank you, baby.
I love you. Love you guys all.
I love you too.
Oh, Brent has a heart for once. It's nice. This show. Congratulations, Taylor. And if
Yes.
you're a fan of Reality NSFW, become a patron over at realitypatron.com.
Yes, please.
Yes, we're doing Survivor podcast each week. So check that out. Whatever other shows come on. We'll be back for Big Brother Canada, I assume, in some way. We might do an off-season podcast. Who knows? But for Bobby, who couldn't be here, for Brent, thank you guys so much. Taylor is our champion. I can't believe I'm saying that. BB24 was a blast. Thank you all. Have a great night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
And for more bonus content, go to realitypatron.com. That's right, become a patron now. Get additional coverage of all your favorite shows, the weekly Q&A, and you become a member of the secret, exclusive Facebook group. That's realitypatron.com.